everyone, and welcome to another edition of Conversations with Conexxus. Today with me, I have Cara Gunderson, Manager of Payment Card Operations for Citgo, as well as Mark Carl, the Security Officer for PDI. So welcome, Mark, and welcome, Cara.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So in addition to your day jobs, you also lead the Data Security Committee for Conexxus. So Cara, you're the chair, and Mark, you're the vice chair. So tell me a little bit about the Data Security Committee and what they do.
The Data Security Committee is a great group of subject matter experts within our industry, also a group of folks that may want to come and learn something. But typically the DSC, as we're called, like to educate the greater petroleum community on data security and kind of what's going on, and help them better manage security for their business operations.
Great. I know you have a good group of people, lots of people engaged in that. And you recently put out 2 new white papers. So I want to talk about those for a minute. The first one is PCI Compliance Responsibilities for the Convenience and Fuel Retail Industry. So can you break that down into something that the lay people can understand what that means?
Sure. So with PCI, it's if you are a unbranded petroleum merchant and you're processing directly with your processor, that's pretty easy to figure out that you are responsible for your compliance for payment card industry data security standards. Where it gets a little bit murky, for lack of a better term, or complicated and confusing even, is when you might be a franchisee or a branded wholesaler or retailer, petroleum retailer that is major oil branded, part of a large retail group. And so you're not really sure who's responsible for what. And so we wanted to put together a guidance paper that helps people kind of figure out where they might land, and then gives them some good guidance to go back to their major retailer or their major oil brand and give them some good questions to ask.
Okay. And then tell me about the second paper. So that was safely moving business data out of secure environments. So help me understand what that means.
Sure, well, I could probably step in on that one. That document actually was a result of a conversation that Bill Wade and I had at the Conexxus annual conference a few years ago. And, we were sitting around the conference and we were talking about some of the difficulties that we have meeting compliance in the petroleum market specifically. And one of those difficulties was the way that the applications are designed, so that in order to obtain sales data, typically in this market, the way we do it is we kind of punch a pinhole through the firewall into the point of sale, and then we retrieve data from the point of sale back to whatever means we're trying to use to gather that data, usually a back office PC or a cloud-based system or something like that. And so when you look at the scoping requirements for PCI, it says if you punch that pinhole to talk into the CDE, that you're guaranteed to be in scope from whatever you're talking into with. And on the other hand, if you look at the paper that we wrote, it says if you connect out from the POS, out of the CDE into another environment, then a QSA can actually say that that's out of scope if there's no actual card data going through that connection. And so we just wanted to put the paper together to make sure that that our implementers and our developers had a guide that would help them understand why it's important to turn those connections around.
Great. So for those of us maybe not as technically acumen as you, tell me what CDE means and tell me what a QSA is.
Okay, so cardholder data environment is the isolated environment where the POS sits, or the payment application, I should say, sits, not always on the POS. And that cardholder data environment is the critical environment for protecting card data. Okay. And the people who assess those, if you're a larger retailer, is a qualified security assessor, which is certified by the PCI Council to be a QSA.
Okay, very good. So I just want to, again, plug the Data Security Committee. You guys meet about once a month, right, Cara? I think your next meeting is December 15th.
Yes, ma'am.
That's open to any Conexxus member. Mm-hmm. And if you're not a Conexxus member, you can email us at info@conexxus.org for more information. If you are, I encourage you, if you have an interest in this area, to get involved. It's a great group of people, and they share a lot of information and help each other out. If folks are interested in downloading the paper, it is available free of charge, or either paper free of charge on the Conexxus website. It's conexxus.org. There's a top menu level item resources, and underneath that is data security resources. You just have to fill out a brief form. We send you an email with a link. So again, free of charge. And I encourage everybody to go download those. So Mark and Cara, thank you again for joining me today and talking a little bit about data security and talking about the 2 new white papers. And I hope people will go out and pick those up. There's some great guidance in there.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
All righty. We'll see you next time.